Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and the place to be, it's Debsy, bloop, bloop. New setting, Debsy, bloop. Hey everybody, so it is Tuesday. I am downstairs in my office because I had to work some overtime. So once again, I'm still trying to get used to this hair. I don't know. I'm still getting used to it. I like it, but I'm getting used to it. So it is Tuesday. Last night I watched the dumpster fire that was boring as shit. I'm talking about the Bachelorettes, the men tell all. They started off by saying, "This is shocking. We have shocking news." And they also said in the previews, like, "There's life-changing news for everybody." And I was like, oh shit, life-changing news. Listen, there's going to be some cursey words in this, so you might want to, if you don't like them, you might want to earmuffs. You might want to earmuff them. Just saying. So the Bachelorettes, the men tell all. Usually when it's the men tell all or the women tell all, if it's the women tell all, then it's usually everybody yelling over everybody else. This really wasn't the case. They started the night off by taking us on one last hometown date. That was Rachel. She went to Salem, Massachusetts. She visited Avon. Now, Avon, she was nervous about this. And Avon's parents had been divorced. They have not been in a room together since now. So this is going to be the first time she's meeting them. This is the first time Avon's parents were meeting one of his dates, one of his women together. And also Avon's parents did not like two of his exes. So she was understandably so a little nervous going in. Plus, in the last hometown date, Tino's parents almost like stabbed her. I'm pretty sure that if they could have gotten the chance, they would have choked her out. I'm just saying. So they go in. Dad was skeptical, and he was asking questions, rightfully so. I mean, he was like, "Hey, listen, this is all well and good. It's fantasy land and you're doing really cool things, but is this going to translate into the for real world?" And she was like, "Yes, they are, and I'm glad you asked," and blah 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 blah. And he seemed okay with that. The mother then asked her some questions. She seemed okay with it. And for me, they were asking the tough questions, but they weren't coming off as assholes. Like Tino's parents were just coming up as straight up assholes. To me, that's what they seemed like. He was talking to his dad, and his dad was like, "Listen, I think she's great. I think she'd be a great fit in our family." Avon said he's falling in love with her, and Rachel said it right back. She's falling in love with him. So we go back to the men tell all. Listen, typically we would get a rose ceremony. Jesse says there's no rose ceremony. Guess what? They all got roses. And if you want to watch it, you can go to abc.com. So we're going to get into the men tell all. So me thinking, shit, this is going to be a big, explosive men tell all. They need all this time. Okay. Listen, that show last night was one big commercial. First of all, they had to hype up. They had to do all this hyping up of this Virgin Cruises. Okay. Then they had to have this big, long infomercial for the Kardashians. For the Kardashians. And then later on, they had to have Billy Eichner, and who was the other guy? Luke McFarlane, come out and promote their movie Bros. It looks funny. It looks like a real funny movie. But listen, I didn't carve out 2 hours of my time to watch a promotional piece for this movie Bros. And then after that, they played some kind of stupid game. And I'm going to tell you, it's crazy that this was the high point. The high point of this whole thing was and really was a low point, but with everything that was going on, it seemed like a high point was when Meatball stripped down to his like gutchies and or bicycle shorts, and he threw some pasta sauce up on his chest and then tackled Billy Eichner. Okay. This is what I carved out. This hair is not going to do it tonight, is it? What? Okay, so this is not what I carved out 2 hours of my life for. Really? And just to let you know, the big life-changing, oh my God, exciting news for everybody is that everybody in the audience got a free cruise. Like Oprah, he was like, you get a cruise, and you get a cruise, and you get a cruise. Everybody in this room gets a cruise. Okay, so what's that doing for me at home? And also, I'm going to tell you, I do like Jessie. Like, I like Jessie, but maybe for these things where you need some hard-hitting questions and some answers, maybe bring, who was it? It was 2 girls that were the Bachelorettes. Tasha and Rachel, or I don't remember the other girl's name. It would have been really well to have them come out and ask these guys some questions. So the villains, out of the 3 villains, only one of them showed. Chris, the guy who was like, the guy that they both threw out and then came back in because he was like, shit, I got to talk to people after I'm thrown out. The one that really for sure thought he was going to be in the Final 4 and he was going to go to Fantasy Suites. And they were like, bruh, we ain't never even talked to you before this. How are you going to be getting into my fantasy suite? Him. So he didn't show up. No surprise there. Hayden, he didn't show up, which is funny because, you know, when his dog had cancer and was only given like a month to live, he's out falutin' and flaunting on, you know, on national TV, claiming he's looking for a wife. Come on. No, so he wasn't there either. The only one that showed up, the only one of the villains, I'm going to say he's a villain, because in my mind he's a villain, was Logan. He did show up. He did answer the questions. He stands behind accepting the rose from Rachel because it could have gotten him time with Gabby. He is completely always standing behind that. Jordan V, who in my mind should have gone a lot further for Rachel, had asked a question, something like, before the rose was handed out, who did you know who you were leaning towards? And he had basically said that no, and eventually he realized it, and he does not regret pursuing Gabby. Now, listen. Okay, you asked Logan the questions. Here's what I wanted to know. What's the deal with the COVID? Was that for real, for real? Now, you know, he's not going to get on TV and be like, no, it wasn't for real. Because there's like a rumor going around that that COVID was something that was made up to get him off of the boat to go to Bachelor in Paradise. Because he's going to be in Bachelor Paradise along with a couple other guys from this show. I know a lot of Bachelor Nation watches Bachelor in Paradise. I just never have. I don't know. And I don't think that's going to start this year because I can't stand one of the girls that's on there, Shayna with the shrimp. I can't stand her. So I for real wouldn't watch that. Yeah, they didn't ask him any questions like that. Like, what about the COVID? Was everybody tested? Has anybody else gotten the COVID? None of that. The other thing pissed me off about this was Jessie was like, listen, we have this special app. You go here, you do this app, and then you press this button, and it's champagne delivery. And I was like, uh-oh, shit, let me get that out, and let me, oh. It's just there. So you mean if I press this button, nobody's going to come out with champagne? Of course not. Nobody's going to be coming out with champagne. So then guys are talking about everything. Roby, the magician who was let go like 10 minutes after he, popped in and pulled a coin out of somebody's ear, was like, I see a coin and my future with you. And I was like, the fuck? He dyed his hair blonde, so he looked like Draco Malfoy or something from Harry Potter. So he was trying to get in there, and Ethan was like, "What the fuck are you? You were gone within 20 minutes. Want to hear from you." The ladies came out. They stood their ground. Gabby had it out with Mario, her first impression rose. She had it out with him. She said she wasn't sure where Mario stood with her. Like, she wasn't sure if he was completely committed to her or not. And Mario felt that Gabby did him wrong by not letting him stay longer, but letting Logan stay. And I get that. I mean, I completely get that. By the same token, I mean, Gabby saw him flirting with Rachel and picking Rachel up and laughing and everything. If I was Gabby after I saw that, I would have been like, gone, you're not getting a rose. That's just it. Jacob, aka Fabio, he was a real dick to Gabby, but at least he did apologize, and he did seem to me like he was sincere. I don't want to say that, but he was. He's another one's going to be on Bachelor in Paradise. Two of the guys that were classy. Tyler was very classy when talking to Rachel, considering like how he was let down. And Nate said he still admires and adores Gabby. I thought he was all class too. There's a lot of talk going on that Nate could be the new Bachelor. There's also talk that Greg from one of the other seasons could be a Bachelor. I personally would not want Greg to be the Bachelor. I didn't like him on the season that he was on. I would probably still watch it because I like garbage TV, but would I like him? No, I just didn't. I mean, they could possibly have Greg and Andrew on as like co-bachelors because they had like a bromance on their season of The Bachelorette. But all in all, this whole thing was just like, this was a snooze fest. It was just the most boring tell-all anything. Like, they weren't telling nothing. They were not telling anything. This one I'm going to tell you. Honestly, if they're looking at bachelors, I think they should either go with Ethan or they should go with Nate. Honestly, I really like Nate. And before, in the past, I was clamoring for Tino because he's so attractive. I feel like Tino is a little controlling. I'm over Tino. So I'm either going to say Nate or Ethan. And Ethan, I would be fine with Ethan because, you know what? There has never been an Asian American bachelor. So why not? I mean, come on. So that's just it. And then next week they're going to be doing the, I guess the fantasy suites. That's when shit's going to blow up. That's when the fantasy suites come into play. And I guess guys are like upset that women are sleeping with multiple guys. I don't know. So, if nobody told you yet today, I love you. You're loved, seen, and heard. Please make sure that you put kindness, love, compassion, hope, acceptance, and positivity out there because, listen, we all need it at some point. And everybody have a great day. Today is the first season of pumpkin season. Oh my gourd. At Starbucks. So go get you some. And everybody have a this is all over the place. So everybody have a great day and I love you guys. Bye.